Hey everybody, welcome back to Premium Picks. Today we are going to give you our early predictions and breakdowns for UFC 302 Islam Makhachev versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier for the lightweight title belt. Before we get into it, please like, please subscribe, and as always, let's look into this card. First fight of the night, we got Andre Lima versus Mitch Raposo in the 125 division. Andre Lima, undefeated, came in with a lot of hype, and he is best known for the $50,000 bite bonus. He got his arm bit in his first fight. That was a pretty wild one. Hot prospects. It looks to be good everywhere. He's a good grappler. He's a good striker, flashy guy. He can finish fights. The only thing I would say I didn't like was he got taken down quite a few times. So I'm not sure if his takedown defense is amazing and if it's possible that he can be grinded out against a good wrestler. Because I think he's going to have the better skills, like the overall better grappler, overall better striker in the majority of his fights. Like, he's a very skilled guy, but that takedown defense looked kind of shaky to me. Now, Mitch Raposo, not an amazing fighter. Again, Andre Lima should be better everywhere. Is there a possibility that Mitch Raposo can grind him out with wrestling? Maybe. I don't think Mitch Raposo is going to be the guy to do it. The pick is definitely Andre Lima. But if he faces a big, strong American wrestler in the future, I will be tempted to bet against him getting grinded out. But Andre Lima is the pick here. What do you think?
So he's the more technical striker. He throws better shots. So Mitch Raposo is a good wrestler, but like the cardio past one round is it's not that great. He was on Dana White Contender Series. I think he fought Jake Hadley, and we all know about Jake Hadley. And he actually owned Jake Hadley in that first round, clear Mitch Raposo round. And then all of a sudden, it just fell off a cliff, and he got beat and subbed by Jake Hadley. And we all figured out that Jake Hadley's okay, but he's not great, right? So Mitch Raposo's okay, but not great. I think Lima has the skills to be good, and you're right, he does get taken down a lot. But for those getting taken down, he does have good get-up skills. And good defensive grappling on the ground, good submission defense, so he's not going to get finished. And we know that the UFC nowadays judging doesn't just, if you take down guys and don't do anything with it, unless you're Themba Garimbo, and they don't award you for it. They only award you for it if the guy, on the other hand, doesn't do nothing. And I don't see Andre Lima, even on the ground, not doing nothing. So I think on the feet, it's a wash. I don't know about the finish, though. Raposo's pretty tough, but I finishes on the table. Andre Lima's my pick.
Yep. All right, moving on to the women's 135 division. We got Jocelyn Edwards, 13-5, versus Aylin Perez, 9-2. Generally speaking, I don't like either of these girls. I think Edwards is painful to watch. She's obviously a very awkward, long, lanky striker, almost like a Luana Carolina to a certain degree. And while she's not a grappler, she's okay sometimes when she initiates the grappling. Like, if you take her down, she's probably not going to really get back up. But she doesn't do terrible when she initiates the grappling. Now, Aylin Perez, she's probably going to want to take her down and grind her out. I'm not 100% sure how much success she's going to have in that. And if it stays on the feet, will she be able to deal with that long, awkward, rangy striking? Like, I just think this is an all-around ugly, ugly fight. This is a fight that I will not put my money on. And I don't like Perez as a huge favorite here. Like, I just think it's an ugly over. That's how I see it. I think it's going to be ugly, kind of close, long-driven decision fight. And when the odds are that wide, it's almost a dog or pass. But I will not be playing this fight. What do you think?
I'm not going to play this fight, but I can see a path for both girls. Perez is probably the better grappler, but both striking kind of. Perez has the worst striking. Jocelyn Edwards is slightly better, but only slightly better. Nothing special on the other end coming back at her. Edwards, in that last fight, I think she got probably robbed. Taking down the girl 5 times, and but again, she did nothing with it and got outstruck on the feet. Right, it's a common theme in the UFC now, right? So Aylin Perez, I believe, would she fight in her last fight? But I had her on a ticket. Yeah, Kopylov, but that was tougher than it should have been. And in the third round, she gassed. So what the fuck, man? What are you gonna do here? Like, neither girl's gonna finish. Even if she gasses, Jocelyn Edwards is not gonna put the hammer down and finish her. She's not a Jessica Andrade or Amanda Hebos or any of those type of girls. So, like, this is an ugly over, just like you said. And when it's all said and done, anyone can get the scorecards. Jocelyn Edwards took the girl down 5 times and got outstruck, but lost the fight. So I don't know, man. This is so ugly. I dog or pass on my end if you want to really play it, but this isn't one. Overs, if you want to run a parlay the overs, go ahead. They're probably shit odds though.
All right, moving on to the men's welterweight division. We got Mickey Gall 7-5 versus Bastel Hafez 8-4-1. We haven't seen Bastel since his debut, or I think it was his debut against Jack Della Maddalena, where you could argue that he won that fight. I'm not going to say it was a robbery or anything like that, but there was definitely people sweating those scorecards there. He had Jack down multiple times, had him in some dangerous positions. So he's obviously a great grappler. Now, Mickey Gall, also a grappler. So grappler versus grappler, who's going to get top position? Mickey Gall, for all his like flaws and being the butt end of every joke there is out there, he's not a terrible grappler. So there's a world where this is somewhat competitive for a little bit. But honestly, Basel Hafez should be the better fighter just about everywhere here. So whether he submits him or not, he should still be winning the fight. So he's definitely the pick for me. What do you think?
I think his wrestling's better here. Mickey Gall can't get taken down. Mickey Gall usually beats guys that don't have much skill or are very skilled or half skilled. Basil Hafez actually showed a pretty decent grappling game in his yeah, more than decent. A lot better than what I saw on tape. But that showed in the first fight there. That Jack, Jack doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, but neither does Mickey Gall. I just think Hafez took that first fight maybe on a little bit short notice. The gas tank didn't look great, but like he didn't give up. There were some good things to it, right? So maybe with the full fight camp, I'm assuming that this guy is going to have better cardio because if he has better cardio, he's got the better skills. Striking's not amazing, but neither guy's really amazing on the feet, I would say. So I think the grappling edge is just too large here for me to bet against him.
Yep. All right, moving on. Also in the men's 170-pound division, we got Nico Price coming back after that disastrous loss to Robbie Lawler, and he is taking on Alex Morono 24-9. Very low-level fight. Nico Price is, I think he's just a fan favorite. You can put him in there with anybody, and on any given night, he's kind of always got a chance. I mean, he is a big, strong guy, but he's not really good at anything. I mean, he's really not a great striker. He's not a great grappler. He's just tough. And if you gas out, then he can take over the fight. And Alex Morono can fade sometimes. So it's a strange fight. Alex Morono should be the better grappler, the much better submission fighter. And even striking, he's probably the better striker. But I mean, fuck, they're both chinny. I shouldn't say that he's the only chinny one here. They both can be knocked out. They both can be sloppy. I wouldn't feel confident putting my money on either guy. Alex Morono is the more technical fighter. He's the more skilled, more developed guy. Alex Morono should win the fight. But if he fades, Nico Price can come on late. If he's chinny, Nico Price can hit hard if he lands a big shot. So it's almost like a Nico Price finish, like one of those inside the distance decision. No, I don't know, man. I could see anything happening in this fight, but I think if Price wins, it's by finish late. Otherwise, Alex Morono should be the better fighter here. What do you think?
Well, yeah, Nico Price isn't going to win a decision. I don't think so. I don't think he throws with enough volume. He throws with enough power, though. I think he has the power edge here. Alex Morono can crack, but he can't crack like Nico Price can crack. It'd be smart of him to use his ground game as the fight progresses. He can stay safe with the striking maybe for a couple rounds, use his volume maybe a round and a half, and then he's got to employ the ground game as Nico kind of tires out. Alex Morono's got the belt, more well-rounded game, more ways to win here. But yeah, man, Nico can always crack. So, like, what I like here is when the odds drop, I would take Morono. I'd like to say decision because I don't think he finishes Nico, or a Nico third round prop is something that you could play here. I'm not too comfortable in the fight, but I definitely think Nico can crack in the third round. And our friend Morono has been dropped and finished in the third round a few times. So I mean, it should be if you're getting plus 2,000. I don't think anywhere better to put your $10.
Yeah. All right. Next fight of the night. Once again, the welterweight division. We got 10-4 Phil Rowe versus 19-7 Jake Matthews. I like Phil Rowe as the underdog here. I think he is the much more reliable striker. I think he's going to use that long range. I think he hits hard. Sometimes he's low volume, so I definitely like him to pick it up here. I don't want to see him get clinched against the cage the whole fight and taken down and shit like that. But I think his takedown defense is actually decent, so I don't think Matthews is just going to be able to take him down at will and grind him out. I do worry about him getting grinded against the fence. That's about it. But Jake Matthews isn't reliable either. I mean, at his best, he does look okay from time to time, and at his worst, he looks terrible. And I'm going to bank on him getting chinned here. And I hope I'm right, but for me, it's dog or pass. And I think Phil Rowe is the more dangerous guy. He's bigger, well, longer at least. And I think that he will avoid getting taken down over and over again. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Jake Matthews, that's all he's got is to take him down, I think, and then control him. Now, Phil Rowe sort of lost that Magny fight, sort of didn't lose that Magny fight.
The audience lost that fight. What a fucking boring fight.
Yeah, I mean, so, but he got controlled, and that's how Matthews wins fights. I mean, that's always in the cards for him to do that, but, Matthews isn't the greatest striker. The guys he's beating is like Darius Flowers, Andre Filo, guys he's losing to Smellsberger. He's losing to Morales, which is actually a pretty good fighter. Sean Brady. So every time he takes some sort of a step up. Now, Phil Rowe, man, I think he's long, he's lanky, and if he wants to employ the striking game, his issue to my thing with him is he kind of slows down as the fight goes on. But he hits a lot harder than Matthews, and I think if he wins this fight against Matthews, I think he finishes him, to be honest with you. So I do not think he wins a decision. I think if it does somehow get to decision, I think that's a Jake Matthews type fight. And Jake Matthews, I would hold a little bit, if it gets that far, you know what I mean? But anything within the distance. So, I mean, a good bet would be Phil Rowe, no decision. So if it has to finish Phil Rowe, if it goes to decision, you get your bet back, right? So that might work because he's the underdog. And if you get plus money and the fight doesn't go no decision Phil Rowe, then I feel like that's the way to go for Phil Rowe. I don't know. He can always get controlled though, and that's what Matthews does. So that's where there's where therein where lies a little bit of thing. So if you take the no decision bet, you get your money back if you get it wrong. So and you get plus money. So more than likely plus money. It hasn't dropped yet, but yeah.
He's still at dog odds. He's the value.
Right. And then on top of which, if you can add the stipulation if it goes a distance, because we don't. I don't know about you, but I think the longer it goes, it favors Matthews. Right. So.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the 155 division. We got Grant Dawson, 22-1. I believe his last fight was getting knocked out by Bobby Green, and he is coming in against Joe Solecki, 13-4. So he got chinned bad last fight, and he's coming in as a huge favorite against Joe Solecki, which to me is strange because this is a grappler versus a grappler. It's like, why would he be a minus 300 against Joe Solecki when Grant Dawson wants to grapple and Joe Solecki is a good grappler? Like, I think this is kind of an even fight. Maybe he's a slightly better wrestler. Like, I don't even think his wrestling is that phenomenal. And I don't know. Honestly, grappler versus grappler, I'm not liking minus 300. I'm not liking a guy coming off a knockout like that at minus 300. I mean, Joe Solecki's out-grappled and beaten Jim Miller. He's been in there with other guys. Like, Joe Solecki's no slouch. Like, he can be beat if he can't get you down and he's facing a big striker. Sure, he can be beat, but Grant Dawson's not a striker. Like, this, to me, this is a strange fight. It's not an overly interesting one. I don't love this fight at all, but I definitely don't love Grant Dawson at minus 300. I won't be playing the fight. I'm not telling you to bet Joe Solecki. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I just don't like Dawson at minus 300. What do you think?
Unlike that last fight where I made a little bit for the underdog, a little bit for the favorite, this one here, I see Grant Dawson with the true wrestling edge here. Joe Solecki just got slam knocked down by what's his name?
Jakar.
Ricardo Close. And Grant Dawson, for all his faults, which that Bobby Green's good though. Bobby Green's good. So like it's not the worst thing in the world to get knocked out by Bobby Green. And I think it's that I more or less think I watched the fight. I think he just jumped in there thinking Bobby doesn't have the power to like floor me. Like Bobby doesn't floor guys. Bobby hasn't floored guys, and it's more of like a accumulation of punches over some rounds, right? So I just think Grant Dawson's gone up against grapplers before and fucking owned them, right? He's went up against the Mark Madsen, who's a better wrestler than Joe Solecki, not a better grappler. Fucking owned him. He went up against Jared Gooden, who's known to be a good grinder. Owned him. So I've seen him own guys. So Joe Solecki's a one. If Joe Solecki had the power to knock this guy out, then yeah, this is the minus 300 is damn well not lower. I think that line is baked in that Joe Solecki has not the greatest striking, and Grant Dawson doesn't have to fear too much on the feet, and he has the better wrestling. So I see a boring decision for Grant Dawson.
Hey, you got boring right. That's for damn sure.
That's what I
All right,
thought.
moving on to one of my favorite fights of the night. We've got the last prelim: Roman Kopylov, 12-3 versus Cesar Almeida, 5-0. I've been on record saying it multiple times that I think Kopylov is one of the most dangerous strikers in the middleweight division. I said many fights ago that I think this guy would fuck up Izzy on the feet, and I don't know I'm going to catch flack for that. I truly believe this guy is a fucking problem on the feet. Now, the thing that makes this fight so interesting is Cesar Almeida is a fucking problem on the feet. This guy is also a world kickboxer, man. This guy can strike with the best of them. So this is going to be such an interesting fight. Somebody's getting fucking knocked out here. I mean, Almeida's been in there with Poatan 3 times. Alex Pereira in fucking Glory Kickboxing. So this, and he has a win over him. 1 win, 2 losses. So I mean, dude, this is a dangerous, dangerous fight. I fucking love it. I know some people are going to go, oh, well, Cesar Almeida, similar to Alex, he can't grapple. Kopylov will take him down and fucking sub him or something like that. I don't think so. I don't think Roman Kopylov is going to shoot a takedown. I think these guys are going to strike it out and somebody's going to get chinned. And, hey, with these guys' type of power and their striking credentials, it could be either guy. So I'm not even confident saying a winner here. I'm truly not. I love Kopylov, and if Almeida sleeps him, I'll probably become a big fan of him. So this is just a fan-friendly fight that I'm going to enjoy, and I think somebody's getting knocked out here. What do you think?
Almeida could sleep him, but like he slept that Durka guy or whatever his name, Budka. I think that's the guy he fought last time. I picked him to win that fight because I didn't think the guy could employ enough wrestling, and Cesar Almeida would catch him because he wasn't a very good striker. And he shot a lazy takedown and got stupid elbows to the side of the head like an idiot. So whatever. Good good get ups by Caesar, I guess, but he did get held down for times. Kopylov might fight this like I watched a rewatch the Punihiro Soriano fight with him. So that's a big cracking power puncher, right? And then Kopylov hits with power, but he's a little bit more technical, right? And so for times on the feet against Hernandez there in his last fight, he looked good, right? It's where the grappling and Hernandez is so relentless kind of tired him out. Now, Cesar Almeida is not going to do that. He's not going to be relentless. He's not going to try to hug him. He's not going to try to drag him to the ground and take him into deep waters. He's going to want to strike with him. And I look at his like upstanding striking, and it's sort of like Pereira's, but just like a poor man's Pereira, if you want to say that. And the fact that he doesn't hit with as much power. He hits with power. I'm not saying he doesn't hit with power, people. So he hits with power. It's not that ferocity that Alex throws it with. It's a different level. And I think Kopylov can match that with a little bit more volume. And Kopylov has shown that he can take people down in the UFC. And he's shown a little bit of fight IQ to take down guys once in a while. It's not like his major game plan, but it's cool that he throws in one here and there to say like, yo, I can grapple. Because Cesar didn't show his takedown defense kind of looks whack, and he could be better. And he's taken down multiple times in fights against low level guys. And Kopylov isn't low level, and his grappling's okay. Mostly regional scene stuff, and he grappled with took down Soriano once. He took down Duraev once. Those aren't two bad guys to take down, knowing that they're both wrestlers. So, yeah, man, I think he's more well-rounded. I really do, and I favor him in this fight, just based on volume, chin as well. He's shown me nothing but a good chin, and I don't think Almeida has the right game plan to beat a guy like Kopylov.
All right. Moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please like, please subscribe. We appreciate it. First fight of the main card, we got fan favorite Randy Brown coming in at 18-5 versus Zaleski dos Santos 24-7-1. Randy Brown, where do we start with this guy? He is a very tall, very rangy, looks massive for the 170-pound division. Decent striker. He's shown that he can hit hard. Obviously, he scored that big knockout last fight. And he's got good chokes. Good, decent enough grappler. I don't think grappling is going to matter here because I think Zaleski has good takedown defense. I think that if he does get taken down, he will scoop back up and get up. So I think this fight ends up on the feet. Now, Zaleski, I like him in this fight. I like him as the underdog. I truly do. I know Randy Brown has a huge following. I get it. He probably might have the more raw power just because look at that size and athleticism he has. But I think Zaleski is a much tougher fighter. I think he has the durability. And if this becomes a pure stand-up fight, which I kind of think it is going to, I think at some point he's going to catch Randy Brown. Randy Brown can be knocked down. So Zaleski, not the biggest power puncher, but I like his volume. I like his durability. I like his pressure. I like his takedown defense. I like all the things on his side. I wish he had more power, because if he had more power, I'd feel more confident about it. But I still think he can get this done just based off the toughness alone. And I thought he beat Renat Fakhretdinov last fight too, by the way, but that doesn't even matter here. I don't think he's getting taken down. I think this plays out on the feet, and I just think his toughness might carry him through here. And it's not a super confident pick by any means, but at the odds, I think the value is on Zaleski personally. And I know Randy Brown has a huge following, probably going to catch flack for that. But I think Zaleski's live at least. What do you think?
I think Randy Brown is the longer fighter here, and I think he might have the range advantage. Now, here's the thing. Dos Santos has been to 5 straight decisions. Randy goes to a lot of decisions. And I know you said that Dos Santos throws with a good amount of frequency. Aside from that Benoit Saint Denis fight, he's like 75, 42, 46, 62, and I'm just reading right off, 54. So, like, I don't like those. But the Randy Brown numbers aren't that much greater. They're like 64, 63. There's like one finish or two. So like both these guys don't throw with the frequency that I like. That's the problem there. And I don't really see Randy being too great with these takedowns either. I mean, he scores a 40% takedown offense, and the other end, Dos Santos is about a 65. So it doesn't add up. Randy Brown will try to mix in a takedown here and there. I just don't know if he'll do it here. Maybe if he's losing. So my problem is, I like the overs in this fight, and that's about it. Like, this is going to be a greasy, long, drawn-out decision with two guys that don't throw because they don't push the pace. I feel like the only reason that Dos Santos throws with any frequency is when the other guy pushes the pace. Look at the two most recent fights that with the biggest amount of significant strikes. One, our boy, Benoit Saint Denis. He threw 150 because Benoit was on his ass and he was trying to finish him for the whole fight. And then the other one was the 75 he threw against the last guy he fought, Fakhretdinov. Because Fakhretdinov does push the pace on guys, right? Does Randy Brown push the pace? No. He doesn't push the pace. He just likes to stand at range and pitter-patter his way, just the same way as Dos Santos will engage in that same battle. So, this is going to be like some, like, 65 to 47 significant strike battle. And this is a long, drawn-out decision. I'm going to favor Randy Brown here, because like you said, he's the fan favorite. They probably want him to win, and I feel like the length is the only thing that's got the advantages here. I think he's got advantages on the ground that he won't use as well. But yeah, that's my take. I have Randy Brown slightly favored.
All right. Moving on to the heavyweight division, we got two guys that I absolutely hate. We got Jailton Almeida, 20-3, versus Alexander Romanov, 17-2. This is clearly grappler versus grappler. Romanov known to gas all the time. Jailton Almeida known to take just about everybody there is down. And then, I mean, I'd like to see more finishing ability. I mean, he was on Derek Lewis for 5 straight rounds in mounts and back control. I mean, in every position there possibly was. And maybe Derek Lewis can't be submitted. I don't fucking know, but I didn't like that. Um, Obviously, coming off Curtis Blades knocking him out last fight after dominating the first round. I mean, if he could take Curtis Blades down that easily in the first round, you got to think he's going to get the better of the takedowns against Romanov, and then you add in Romanov the way he gasses, and he's not really some huge knockout threat or anything like that. This just points to a Jailton Almeida victory. As much as I hate to say that, because truth be told, I'd probably rather see Almeida lose. I can't stand his style. I can't stand his fights, but he should be good here. I don't know. Am I missing something? Is Romanov going to knock him out? I don't know. I think Almeida wins here. What do you think?
Don't be a hater. I love Jelton's style. To
Do
bet,
you?
I'd like to bet on. Like he's one of the safest guys to bet on. No, he would have won that Curtis Blades fight unless he didn't stick his head. He should have moved his head. Like I don't know what he's thinking. It was simple elbows to the side of the head. Wrestlers just got to know to disengage. I don't understand why they won't disengage. But anyway, that's an argument for another day. I feel like he's the biggest lock of the card. You broke it down perfectly. It was exactly what I was going to say on the breakdown. He's taken down every single person he's ever done, and Romanov's a known gasser, and he finds ways out of fights when he's getting fucking mauled on, like Juan Espino and all those guys. So, Romanov's gassed out against less guys. This is my biggest lock of the card. I don't see how Jailton loses this fight. I just don't. He's going to take him down and gas him. And this guy will just like submit due to exhaustion. You know what I mean? So I've seen him. I've seen him death gas, and when I've seen someone death gas and not fix it, then yeah.
I agree. Moving on to the featured fight, we got fan favorite Kevin Holland, 25-11 versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, 19-7. Hard name to say there. Um, I'm on the Sherdog forums from night to night, just seeing what people see, seeing what people say, and they have a betting forum there, and I kind of look at where the odds or where people are playing and stuff like that, and it seems like nobody has any faith in Kevin Holland, and I get it to a certain degree. Everybody kind of hates that he doesn't really take things serious. You don't know what you're getting. He talks too much. All those things. But he usually does that against like interesting fighters or like fighters that like the UFC kind of likes, like the MVP. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be in there talking and taunting with Mikhail. I think Mikhail is a fairly straight shooter. He likes to come forward right away and strike it out. And he doesn't have the durability to do it with Kevin Holland. Like I get it. I don't like betting on mentally like flaky guys, and Kevin Holland definitely can be mentally flaky, but I feel really good about him here. He's coming off a few losses. I just think this is a gimme. Like they need Kevin Holland to get a win here, and I think this is it. Like I don't think Mikhail has the durability. I don't think he can. He's been submitted enough times too, but I don't know. I think this is a Kevin Holland inside the distance finish. And I don't know why I feel so good about it, but I do. And I get it. Everybody who says he's a flake and he's too much of a joker and he doesn't take shit serious, I get it. But I think this one is a give me. I think he is going to finish Mikhail. What do you think?
I hate him because he's such a flaker, but he has this tendency to lose a few matches and then just win the one he's supposed to win. So him losing to Jack Della, not a big deal. He actually fought well in that fight. Him losing to fucking MVP, so stupid. But whatever. I mean, he should have taken it a little bit more seriously, thrown a little bit more volume. He probably was a little bit more skilled than he showed in that fight, but he let MVP do all the talking. Um, I feel like he should win this fight. He's the better striker. He's got the better durability. He's doesn't. I don't know if he has the more power, but they're both pretty powerful. But Oleksiejczuk always finds ways to lose, and Kevin, if he fights this fight like he fought Jack Della, he'll easily beat him. He'll easily beat him. Um, I don't find that Michael O there holds his distance that well, and I'm just hoping he's not going to be high on my thing. I'm gonna throw him in a parlay or something like that. The fight IQ really pisses me off. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Kevin Holland.
All right, moving on to the co-main event, and spoiler alert, I don't think this fight's going to happen. But we got Sean Strickland 28-6 versus Paulo Costa 14-3 in the middleweight division. All right, well, Sean Strickland, how do you talk about this guy? Pitter-patter puncher, pressure fighter, never gasses, always comes forward, makes you uncomfortable, takes over the fight as the fight goes on. Paulo Costa, I mean, he's going to be the better grappler, but I don't think he's going to grapple. Even though Sean Strickland is supposedly supposed to be a decent grappler, he showed pretty shit takedown defense. So, I mean, I think Costa would be smart to take it down, but I don't think he will. So then Paulo Costa, what does he have? He has the kicks and he has the power. But barring him catching Strickland with a big knockout shot like Alex Pereira did, he's not going to win this fight. The volume's all going to be Strickland. Strickland's going to march him down, and he's going to take over. Like I expect probably a fairly close first round where he's going to eat some big body kicks. Strickland will walk through them, march through them, and he will slowly but surely make Paulo Costa very uncomfortable. And so Sean Strickland's the pick. The only way he loses is by knockout. I don't think that's going to happen. But truth be told, I don't think this fight's going to happen. I don't think there's already rumors that Costa didn't sign the con. I don't know. I've been reading all kinds of shit, so I don't know. I hope what I'm reading is wrong. But Costa pulls out a lot, and I don't want him to ruin this card because I don't think this card is great to begin with. So I hope this fight happens. I think Sean Strickland wins the fight. If something tells me the fight doesn't happen, what do you think?
I'm on Sean Strickland. I want to put a decent size. I want to mix his in a parlay with Jailton, like I told you, and get plus money and put a decent size on that because I think he loses this by a knockout, and it'd have to be like left hook from hell, sort of Alex Pereira side of knockout. Paulo Costa doesn't even. I don't think he entertains that punches repertoire at any sort of speed. Like you see it coming, they're all looping shots. He tires out. Sean Strickland's shown a pretty good chin, aside from the one fight against Pereira. And I mean the volume's going to be all day on Sean Strickland. He's going to pressure him. Izzy pressured Costa into oblivion. So if Izzy can pressure Costa into oblivion, what's Sean Strickland kind of pressure going to do? Have the same pressure he used on Izzy. And I know Drickus, but yeah, Drickus is a decent wrestler, and he's shown decent takedowns in fights before Sean Strickland. Before that, Sean Strickland hadn't been taken down more than one time for like those last 5 or 6 matches. So the takedown defense is there. It didn't look so good against Drickus, but like remember that's champion, man. Anyway, Sean Strickland by volume. I think the chin holds up, and Paulo Costa gasses. So, I don't know if it's going to be a finish, probably, but I'm going to say go to safe route and take Sean Strickland money line.
Yep. All right, that brings us to our main event. We've got the champion, Islam Makhachev, 25-1 versus probably the fan favorite here, Dustin the Diamond Poirier, 30-8. This is Dustin Poirier's swan song. This is his retirement fight here. If you ask me, I think he's fucked personally. I do like Dustin Poirier. Like no issues with him. I'm not gonna beat the guy down here. I just think he's outgunned here. I think even in his last victory, which was an amazing comeback, I don't think he looked good. Like he landed that big shot and put Benoit down, which is like I mean obviously that's commendable and that's awesome. But he didn't look good before that. He was losing the fight. And I just think Islam is going to be too much. I think Dustin's takedown defense has never been great, so I think Islam can take him down pretty well at will. And truth be told, I don't even think he's going to be in that much trouble on the feet. Yes, I think Dustin's hands are better. Yes, I think Dustin's a better boxer, all those things. But I don't think Islam's an idiot and is going to walk into a huge shot the way Benoit did. Like, Benoit was literally, like, hands down, walked right into that shot. Islam always has his hands up. I don't think he's going to walk into a huge knockout punch. So while it would be cool to see Poirier win, I don't think so. I think Islam finishes the fight, and I think Poirier hangs them up after this. He's brought up retirement so many times. You hear that? I think it's the end of the road. I'm not even so sure that he deserves this fight, to be honest. But regardless, that's neither here nor there. I think Islam wins. I think Islam wins by finish. I will be playing him inside the distance when the odds come out, when the props come out. They're not out right now, so I'm just going to wait and see and sit on that for now. But yeah, I think he gets it done here. What do you think?
I don't think he knocks him out. I think he has to submit him. I don't think he can knock him out. And that's not because I don't think I just thought, you know what, he's improved striking, right? Very improved striking over his last few fights. So he still is a ground fighter, though. And he always employs the ground game, aside from when he can head kick Alexander Volkanovski in the first round. You know what I mean? But before that, every other fight, he's employed at least a takedown. And that's sometimes all he needs, right? And what's Poirier really going to do? The top pressure is too much. And I don't see him pounding him out because they're going to let that go on for a bit. So Makhachev by submission. I like something's telling me Islam by submission. So I'm going to play a safe ticket with him just to win him inside the distance. But I'm going to play a single and submission. I'm hoping to get a good price on Islam by submission. So yeah, I mean, I think he's the better wrestler. A while ago, I would say Dustin's the better boxer. He probably is the better boxer, but much improved hands from Islam, much improved kickboxing from Islam. And I hate the guy's style, and he bores me to death. And it hurts me to say all this, but he's improving as champion twofold. And
and he is finishing fights. Truth be told,
right. It's like Oppo Khabib. So
yeah, Khabib at one point I think had like fucking 11 decisions in a row or some shit. Like don't that number might be wrong, but there was a lot of decisions in a row. Islam is finishing fights.
yeah, man, and you know what? And he's showing a different repertoire every time: submission, and knockouts, and good ground games, and he's thrown a couple decisions in there, and yeah. I just don't see how he loses this fight too. So, yeah, that's I don't have much more to say.
Exactly. I mean, I think the whole world kind of thinks the same. Especially Poirier is known to kind of turn his back and get rear naked choked a few times, so that's probably how it's going to end. Guys, pay-per-view card. We will definitely have another episode. The props aren't out yet, and I don't even think they will be until like next Tuesday, Wednesday. So you got another 5, 6, 7 days here. But look out for it. When the props come out, we're going to find our favorite bets, our favorite props. We're going to look for better spots because I think this might even be a prop card, to be honest. I mean, there's dogs that are good. There's props that are good. I think, even though it's not the greatest card on paper, I feel like it's a pretty predictable card to break down. So I think we're going to find some spots. We're going to make some money here for sure. Again, like, subscribe, drop us a comment. Let us know your favorite picks. And when the props are out, we'll see you again. Have a good one, guys.